That level of commitment that, I am going to go and sacrifice and do whatever it takes.
The grit and determination to wake up every single day and continue to do that no matter what the conditions are.
I don't know that everybody that thinks they want to do something understands that level of commitment that it takes to be the best.
You don't want to compare too much because each year is so different. You're a different athlete, you're a different person. But for me in 2021, my life was so different. I was obviously wearing COVID. I literally was locked in Chula Vista, California for 12 weeks, absolutely having some of the best training in my life, but I don't think we went off the campus there once. It was just all train. And now I have a longtime girlfriend, as well as I'm older. I don't recover the same way I did when I was 24. Fortunately, I'm still having even better workouts than I had in 2021. I just need to make sure that I recover from those workouts. Also making sure that I actually have some fun off the track.
So I'm Cherie Hewlett. I'm from Georgia, and I am Nate's girlfriend of about 2.5 years. Dating a Paralympic gold medalist is so much fun. I think after the last Paralympic cycle, it's finally gaining the recognition that it deserves. Leading up to Paris, there's so many more people involved, so many more people watching and paying attention to the movement as a whole.
The games, there's a lot riding on it. There's a financial component now with Paralympians getting paid, as well as I want to compete the best that I can. I don't want to just win, I want to dominate.
Training's been going really well. I am about a week out from the race, and I'm really hoping to continue that momentum that I've had the last couple weeks.
So today we have a little tempo workout. It'll be my third workout of the week. So we do 4K at threshold, which for me is about 325 for Ks, around a 525 mile. And then we have a 4-minute break, and then some 8 times 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, and those are more just strides to kind of break it up and get the legs a little bit more tired, and then we'll do another 4K tempo. So we've been dealing with, I wouldn't really call it an injury, but just kind of a little bit of tightness like around my knee.
We did the activation, 3 sets of activations for 5 seconds hold on this left-hand side. With Nate, his hamstrings tends to get tight a little bit, which is causing a weakness on his anterior side of his adductors. And so what we do when a muscle is too tight, it'll create a weakness. So we're just trying to activate it so we can increase his range of motion.
It's really important is that my hips are aligned, because for me, with how much we run, if your hip is slightly off and you go run 10 miles, then there's a lot of things that you can damage or really affect. We're constantly going back to see if your hips are even. So it's a whole jigsaw puzzle, especially for me with the whole neurological problem with the hole in my head. It's like, it just adds an extra layer of trouble for sure.
We have to deal with different things when it comes to Olympians. It took me a while to understand, and it even can be super frustrating for me. Like I see my Olympic counterparts like crushing sessions, and I want to do the same thing, but sometimes I need more recovery, and so that's something that you really have to come to understand and be okay with.
I think as an athlete, sometimes you don't realize how much recovery you need or how much you beat up the body. Kind of the first year where I need a little bit more time in between sessions, so we're just kind of playing with that, and range of motion's been pretty good, so I'm hoping that it holds up during the session.
I just don't like to make excuses. If you do bad, you still have to face the music. Now when I have a bad race, I still have to go to the media. Like for example, I sucked in my opening race of the season, and I think it's really important that I said, hey, I mentally wasn't ready to race. That's on me. And also not to dwell on it. Like when I have failure, I don't dwell on it. I learn what I need to, but then I just move on.
I got to be pretty cautious on the first
4K because it is a bit more human. When I think of threshold, it's very effort-based. As a younger athlete, that's really hard to understand. You want to hit a split, and that's what that split is, regardless of how hard it is. But as you get older, you learn that that's not the point of threshold. So,
as training does, you have a little bit of hiccups here and there, but the last couple of weeks training has been really good, and I'm really excited to be able to test myself. And it's always extra special to race in Canada and in front of a lot of my friends, a lot of my teammates, and I get to see them run as well. And I feel like this race will really feel like it's the start of the Paralympic campaign.
Before a race, he is very strict in his schedule. You wake up, you roll out, you get treatment, you go to your workout, you cool down, you have to roll out again, and then you're constantly thinking about how much to eat, when to eat, and then balancing everything else that comes with life. It's always been interesting.
As an athlete, we're so selfish. We're going after this endeavor. You have to learn that there's certainly more important people than yourself, and at the end of the day, you are a person, not just an athlete. I think people think that when I talk to my sports psychologist, we talk about just track. We do talk about track for sure, and how to manage that anxiety or those nerves on race day, but honestly, we talk a lot about my day-to-day life. Spending time with Cherie, or going to my brother's practices, being happy in your day-to-day living. That's something that I really had to get better at. And so a lot of times the stress off the track really affects your ability to execute on the track. I feel so rejuvenated when it comes to spending time with my family or Cherie, and so those are super important. When it comes to equipment, I'm super fortunate and super lucky to be sponsored by Asics. They're really revolutionary company when it comes to having the best spikes and obviously great running shoes. That had always been, to be honest with you, a childhood dream of mine. To just be supported truly has been a pretty eye-opening experience. I've been treated so well. Looking forward to hopefully accomplishing big things this year. Yeah, my family has always been very important to me. Paralympic movement is relatively a young thing. I don't think every family understands what it's like to go chase a Paralympic gold medal. I certainly don't know where I'd be if it wasn't for them.
my dad always reminds me that no matter as long as you put in the work, it doesn't matter how you feel. I still have runner's brain where I want to feel perfect, or you had this one race where you felt amazing and everything went well, but when I set the world record, I felt horrible. Pre-race, my hamstring was bugging me, and then I ran pretty much like the race of my life to this point, so just gotta remind myself of that.
The negatives will find you if you're not willing to put in the work, right? If you don't do the work and you're a little nervous about it, it's because it's gonna show up. As an athlete, you're not gonna feel your best every day. I don't care how you feel, and you shouldn't care how you feel. Just go execute.